Okay, I guess we will start now.
Okay,
so,
hey guys, we're back. We were talking about something, and I thought that we should get that thought process on camera, because we were talking about the Studio 2 incident, because it's very obvious that both the murder happened and the disposal of evidence is very clearly in Studio 2.
Yeah.
And as you said, if we could get access to Studio 2 from the start, anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together would know that that's where the murder took place.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of the few times in which, in the game series where it's like, wait, the police didn't do their job? What? And it's like, yeah, it's like.
It would have been very easy. They could have called in the truck to even pull it.
Yeah.
The van out in the front.
Yeah.
They could have tied up some rope.
I think we have to even wait for the statue to be moved out of the way, and the statue's head to be moved out of the way, and the tree to be taken apart and moved somewhere else to even get into there. I think we might even be a little late on the second investigation day. So it's like okay.
And you were
Yeah. So there's another game series that's to kind of mitigate this problem. A lot of the times, what they do is they give you every piece of evidence right from the start, because it's all one 2-hour-long case that you basically have to sit down and go, okay, we're going to slowly chip away at every piece of evidence and see how they align and how they break. And it's really interesting, because instead of a defense attorney and a prosecutor, instead it's an Inquisition style trial where everyone's just yelling at each other, and you have to.
It's like werewolf.
Yeah, you basically have to shoot down arguments with the evidence until you finally get to the true case. And once again, you have to use every piece of evidence, because what is an actual investigation trial if you're not able to use everything you've been given? You know?
Mm-hmm. Even though in real life, sometimes it is just a red herring.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going.
Suppose that's right. Are you sure, Your Honor?
If we wait and see what happens, Powers is gonna get convicted.
Hold it. We need to keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Will Powers. The defense has a point.
He does, because it's very clearly shorter than Will Powers is, even with the limp.
And from we saw at the very beginning, I should have actually showed up the video of it. The suit is designed where you can actually see the shoes of it, so it should be right above the ankles. Should be right above the ankles. So
unless he got cut off at the ankles, or no,
halfway up the shin.
Yeah, halfway up the shin, he would, and he's walking around on small stubs.
Yeah.
There's no way it's him.
I also wonder if anyone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that a possibility too. Oh, thanks, Judge. You're being oddly, conscious. And allow me to remove the doubt. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. A continued witness account. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30. True? The only person I saw go into the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there.
It's very clearly not him. You can see it in the legs.
Yeah, but we can't say that part yet. We have to just assume.
That's so annoying. Because I'm not alone in this, right? You can very clearly see it's not him. The guy has to be what? Or whoever did this, because we can't actually tell if it's a girl or a guy. They could be wearing a padded outfit, but they're very clearly 3 inches shorter than Powers is.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. They just don't want you to bring it up yet.
The game's just dumb.
No, the game doesn't want you to bring it up yet. They want to use that part later.
A shock, as if we couldn't figure it out.
If they had, I would have seen them. Oh, There we go. Now we have to actually present the fact that there's two pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's no one else that went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai. You may cross-examine the witness.
Thank you. Judge McDoing his job.
Yeah,
Judge
oddly.
McDoing Gumshoe's job right now, along with everybody else who's including Gumshoe.
Okay, witness account. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30. How do you know that? Yeah, didn't I just explain? Gave Jonas a young detective, and then after some rubbish about it being a secret pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts. The only one I saw in the studio before then was Will Powers. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite sunny. No one's suspicious looking passed by at all.
Because they weren't in the costume.
I think we have to wait for more clear avenue of choice to figure out exactly who was.
Don't think it was Penny, but I don't know yet because I don't know how tall she is. Anyone 3 to 4 inches
She's shorter than Maya.
Okay, it wasn't
And
her.
Maya
She's
is
too
shorter
short.
than us, and we are shorter than Powers. And that
It had to have been someone around Phoenix's height. I'm just going by conjecture because
No,
we
Phoenix
have no
is 6
idea.
foot. Like you actually forget that in a group. Okay, so imagine that this actually was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix is 6 foot tall. It's pretty tall.
Mm-hmm. Keep talking, yeah.
Whoops! I accidentally slammed the controller into the to the desk. Sorry about that.
I wish it had the heights of some of these guys.
Oh, it's a Japanese game. You'll find it.
Okay, so he's 6 feet tall. He is exactly the same height as Phoenix is.
Actually, I think Phoenix is 6 foot. You might have to look that up too.
Yeah. Well, you
No
were
one's
saying
suspicious
he's 6
looking,
feet.
right? Yeah, he's around there. No one went in there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean
He is
before
5'9".
what?
So
Yeah.
someone just a little
Yeah,
bit
so
taller.
my height.
Yeah. So we're looking at someone maybe 3 to 4 inches shorter than Will Powers. And it obviously wasn't Jack Hammer because he's dead. And
Why,
this isn't
everyone-
a suicide case.
Everyone was in the employee area before then. I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. Are you sure? The witness has answered the question.
She's right. He's right. She has.
Anyone going to the studio had to pass by the witness.
Unless she was too busy going through Jack Hammer's dressing room. But there's no proof of that right now. I'm just saying it's
Man,
not
yeah.
above her to do that.
It is not above her to do that yet.
I'm also saying we have no proof, and to say so would be a defamation of her character. Okay.
That's right, Sonny.
Thank you. Now I can see it. Now I can see how loud I am or am not.
Yeah, sorry about that. You let him have it, edgy boy. You okay? What's wrong? What's wrong with Wendy Oldbag referring to Edgeworth as edgy boy?
Oh, that's great.
You okay?
That's
You need
great.
a moment?
It's great. She's wonderful. I love her for the pain she inflicts on everyone else around her.
I was like, edgy boy?
That's a nickname for Tumblr.
I mean,
Old bag.
people were very quick to go, okay, so Phoenix Wright is Sonic, Gumshoes is Knuckles,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're right.
Maya in some points is Tails, and sometimes Amy, and Edgeworth is Shadow. Who's the judge? Big the cat? No, stop. We don't need this.
But what if we do? What if I do?
Foggy, you can't be the witness.
They're right though. He is not big. He's Vector.
Oh, yeah. No, we will actually meet a character who's a lot like Vector
Oh, please.
in, I think, the second game, and it's amazing.
Oh, I'm sure it is amazing. Critical damage.
All the...
Old Windag sure has balls, or... Well, you know what I mean.
Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them.
How convenient. I know.
Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. Okay, so I think we need to present something on the... Because again, it needs to be the statement that is directly in opposition to the evidence.
But we're still pressing.
No, we actually looped back around.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we'd looped back around. I thought we were still on the continued.
No, we had actually gone through the loop text. So just press B, skip through it.
Oh yeah, we have seen this one.
Okay, so what exactly...
Well, what do we have? We can't use this right now.
I think we have to present the photo again, but I can't figure out... I think it might be the last one,
tell us.
because it's photo 2.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna present.
Not this one. No one else went there. I think this is where we present it.
Okay.
There we go. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. I'm sure it will make you laugh. The photo was taken at the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So, whenever someone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture? And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Right. Anyway, it's true that the computer at the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at a studio, we might have an opening.
As a clown.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo were printed the words, October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October 15th. Really, Sonny?
Then where's the first picture?
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says the second photo. Photo 2?
Because someone got into the security office and shredded the picture.
No, it's a... The computer
Well, we don't know
only
enough
had the
yet.
data for the one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be number 1 if it really was the only photo?
And if it was recording from the start of the day, shouldn't be a later number.
Yeah.
It should be a way later number with the amount of people probably coming back and forth to deliver things, like Penny.
Yeah. Okay, order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. And actually, that's why I wanted to ask the witness. The evidence shows that no one but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only one data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo?
Okay, well it's what I'm asking. But make sure you're clarifying it's not her.
The only one with access, the security lady herself. You shut your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things.
What did you claim to earlier?
Edgy boy, would you? Believe me, I would want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are.
Oh, she'll still stalk you, don't worry.
Whippersnapper. Something the matter, old bag? That's right. I remembered
She's
something.
gonna blame Penny.
No. She suddenly realized who was the other person to be in there. Let me guess. Someone passed by the
Hammer.
gate, someone other than the Steel Samurai?
It was Hammer. It was Jack Hammer.
No. That'd be too weird. I see. Your testimony, please.
The only other person in the house, the cook.
Another person. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded at the security camera and I check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking,
Or
you see.
pictures that you don't need to keep. Like a bird that flies in front of the camera and accidentally triggers a picture.
Yeah, but sometimes that actually does become important evidence. In cases, surprisingly. Because it shows the beforehand.
Why would you throw out anything from that day?
Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first time I've heard of this. Why is it that I'm so in the dark about this entire case? This feels really uncharacteristic of me. It's almost like this was actually the first case ever, like, written for this game or something.
Before they knew the characters well enough? Because they wrote them 2, 3, and then 1? Did they?
I think this case might have been written first, and then the first and the last cases, and then everything else. Right. Mr. Wright, can you please cross-examine?
Well, I'd say this was a turn of the unexpected, but I kinda expected this.
I wasn't expecting anything, so I'm okay. I was expecting not to expect anything, so doesn't count. Okay. Other job? That's right. I check all the people that passed by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos that security camera takes. Did you back up all the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are so frustrating. They throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking?
Well, she's just saying that she collects all the photos of Jack Hammer as he passes by, squirrels them away in her purse, and brings them home with her to join her collection.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. She creepy.
How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you could tell that just by looking at their faces for the most part. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I?
Well, yeah, you did, because you gave it to Gumshoe.
I think she's missing the point.
She had to have touched it to give it to Gumshoe.
Whatever.
I'm not wrong, right? She had to have touched the picture.
Now, I remember throwing out one photo that day.
You gonna tell us what was on the photo?
Well, who the heck was in the photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy?
And you didn't think to mention it was someone off the street? Which would corroborate Penny's suspicions?
Still samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me.
You can hear Maya just vibrating in her seat to the left of us. It's like, we're not freaks. We just enjoy a perfectly good show.
They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where.
Probably.
They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second. Didn't you say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, There's a drain that goes into the employee area.
I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. I pointed out that drain gate when we saw it. Why didn't I get to... Who would be that small to cram themselves into a drain gate unless it was Penny?
Someone who was actually a ninja, maybe?
Who's that small?
Oh, you'll meet them. The gate's been loose for a while. Leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. Yeah, but you can tell that, like, none of the adults can actually get in. It has to be a child.
So, we're saying a kid killed Jack Hammer.
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and... Well, they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Right. Guess only kids would be able to get through the grate. So, on the photo that you erased was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What?
We need that picture.
Okay, order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studio. One was still samurai, dragging his leg. The other one was a boy who looked about 2nd or 3rd grade.
I don't think he was in the 2nd or the 3rd grade. I bet you he's just small enough to be 3 or 4 inches shorter.
No, it actually is
Oh, it's actually a kid?
actually a small child, yeah.
I'm just grasping for clues at this point because I want to figure out what happened in the case because it fascinates me, even with how frustrating it is.
Oh, yes. Well, we see his type here, there every day. Can't stop him. Can't catch him. A boy in the 2nd or 3rd grade. So it would be hard, if not impossible, for a boy to wield this samurai spear.
He's already linking the connections.
Yeah.
In
possible.
case this goes south, he'll fry the kid.
Possible. I think it would be quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
That's fair. Should have kept it. Handed it over to
Yeah,
the
because
police.
it's still
Evidence.
breaking and entering, even though they didn't break anything to enter, but hey. Well, except for the law. They broke the law.
So does everybody else in this whole courtroom, including Phoenix and Maya, who stole information from a computer. It's okay, because they're the main characters. They can get away
I'll just
with
ask
a little bit of B&E.
I'll just ask them to lie on the stand, you know, stuff like that.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect.
Yeah, but there's always trying to unsuspect him. Court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time.
Hey, that's not us. That's on them.
Yeah.
October
The 18th at
11:08 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3.
Mr. Powers?
He's wearing a smoking jacket. It's a jacket with a pipe.
Oh yeah, I see that
on it.
little pipe there. That's kind of nice.
He's wearing a smoking jacket.
Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go into the studio. I didn't go into the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know?
Shouldn't the costume have been in his dressing room?
Most likely.
Because that's what bothers me. Someone got into the dressing room, or it was
Not through the window,
left,
because we know that it hasn't been opened in a while.
so it's through the door, which probably wasn't locked, judging by the rest of the security in the place.
Yeah.
Or he got in, or the killer got in through some other means, took the outfit, walked back through, and killed Jack a half an hour after he crossed the gate. Why so much time?
Oh no, that's probably when they got there.
That doesn't sit right with me, the time discrepancy of 2 o'clock to 2:30. Someone was very clearly going into that costume with the intention of framing Will Powers.
Yeah, most likely.
And they did that a half an hour before they killed him. I get that there's a window of time.
And we know that he was fast asleep at that time.
And I get that there's a window of time in which the autopsy could be a little bit off because it's not exact to the second. I know that. So he was probably actually killed at 2 o'clock.
Most autopsies are displaceable by about like an hour. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll bet you anything he was killed at 2.
I mean, we're gonna have to just take it like word of gospel that
it was 2:30.
That it was exactly 2:30
o'clock. But we're not going to be able to prove or use that. But that time discrepancy bothers me. And it bothers me that it doesn't bother anybody else.
Yeah.
I get hung up on, admittedly, probably the oddest
still a
stuff
half
to get
an
hung
hour
up on.
In which we...
That's a half hour. Anything could happen in that half-hour time scan.
Anything can happen in 10 minutes, honestly.
Yeah, even shorter. Anything could happen in 5. You could go from Studio 1 to Studio 2 in 5 minutes tops, probably. Unless you were in super heavy metal gear, which they probably weren't. It's probably all cloth.
Yeah, cloth and plastic, which is usual for
studios.
For that type of production.
Mm-hmm. Especially
again,
for
I know a little bit more about this now that
Sunday morning kids show.
Yeah.
Because this is Japan. That show is during Sunday morning.
Yeah. It's a Sunday morning type thing.
Mm-hmm. In America, it would be Saturday morning.
Right next to Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. Mm-hmm. So it's like...
It's probably in between the two.
Maybe. But yeah, it would be around the same time slot. It would have the same type of production values. It would have the
same type of marketing
and especially same type of costumes, which are usually cloth and plastic.
They might even use the same costumes in between shows or the same actors in between them too.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a person is indebted to a studio for so long that they forget that there are other studios in the universe. Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room.
So it was in the dressing room.
Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
Why didn't you lock the door? Probably he was...
Well, he knows that no one can get in through the security gate, and that only certain people know how to actually get in.
But the security gate doesn't cover the employee rooms.
Yes.
It covers Studios 1 and 2. This place is used as an amusement park.
Oftentimes.
He knows that people come and go through the area.
Remember that you can't get through the to the employee area without directly interacting with Old Bag. So,
well, yeah, but that won't stop anyone, everyone. If she's dealing with like 2 people, a third person could sneak in. And they don't even have to be like in cahoots. They can be just 3 different people.
Yeah.
What? You should take better care of that stuff. That's what I just said.
I love how you're getting upset at the thing that's not even upsetting yet.
Oh, I will probably lose my mind.
I wouldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume.
Maya. She was talking about that earlier.
Doesn't look good, Will. Yeah, you're the only likely suspect right now.
If only we knew somebody else who was in the area. If only we could talk to Jack. If only we could talk to Hammer, but he's dead, and the dead don't speak like that. Nick! What are we gonna do?
I will also remind you... okay, so the only reason why... I just remember this. I think they explain it later, but the camera does not take photos when Old Bag is not in the security station. So, it's why there isn't a picture of Hammer, by the way.
You know what you could do with a costume, though? Fit it through the grate. If you could have someone squeeze through it, you could fit the costume through the grate.
Maybe, but we're gonna have to figure that out.
My brain's
later
racking for details. I'm like Charlie Day with the massive corkboard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. And none of it will be useful, I'm sure.
First, play for more time. Start by targeting someone else who could conceivably have done this.
Right! And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. Don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. Does that mean... Please don't sigh like that. Court now reconvene. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter? Prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy roughly 10 years of age. Photo we do not have. We do have, may not be hard evidence. But there's still no one else that could have committed the crime. Call for a guilty verdict. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? Defendant disagrees with the prosecution's claim.
Of course you do.
There is another person who could have committed the crime. Interesting. Let's hear who you have in mind. However, please be aware that the court does not look kindly upon accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. It's me, sir. Get out of here. So who is the person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder?
Oh no.
It was the assistant. Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so, she became the Steel Samurai. She is clearly like a foot smaller than him, which would cause the inconsistency with the outfit. Please bring it up. So you're saying the Steel Samurai in this picture is really the assistant? That's correct, Your Honor. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame?
No, he's clearly short.
No, the Steel Samurai's a cool character, okay? No, I mean he's dragging his foot, Phoenix. Oh.
I bow to that joke.
Time.
It was magnificent.
Remember the testimony considering Powers' injury?
So was he lame in both feet?
Yeah, he was literally cut at the hamstrings.
Those shins. Hamstrings are much higher up.
Yeah, he was just walking with his thighs. Who knows? Oh, and me. What about the assistant? Her? She was cleaning the backdrops. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You're right. I did forget about that. Assistant knew nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could look at... the Steel Samurai look with that costume. But she couldn't walk. The Steel Samurai walk.
Because he didn't limp. Because you can clearly see that the limp would have to be in both feet. This is dumb.
That kind of takes the legs out from under the case.
No, it doesn't, Maya.
Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I have to penalize you as I was warned.
What?
Nobody knows that... Oh, I've seen... Oh, I get it. Maybe we move on? No, there's one more chance then. Well, go ahead. Who is this person other than Mr. Powers?
It's not the schoolboy, though.
Could it be the security lady then? Who? Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in the picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about the morning's injury. Maybe because they had seen the action run through.
Because there were only 3 people.
And there was only one other person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. Security lady. Old bag. What? Whippersnapper. Order. Is this true, Old Bag? Hold bag, it's Ms. Old Bag to you. Ms. Old Bag was standing guard, alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi.
She does.
Could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume.
It wasn't like she didn't know where it was.
Then slipped into the Studio 1 for the scene of the murder. Why would she go to the trouble wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew that the camera gate would take her picture. If she was in the costume, she would point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby.
That's actually a really good film. I like. Not everyone likes it, but I do.
Is that the one with the dinosaurs, or is that the one with...
No, that's the Asylum one. Sherlock Holmes 2 is the one with Moriarty and Jude Law and Iron Man. But let me say this. The Asylum Sherlock Holmes film is actually pretty good.
We don't have time for this.
Let me rant.
Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection with some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on the matter?
I want to see her jailed.
Prosecution has no meaningful objection at the time. What was that supposed to mean?
I love that.
Oh, you think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there and do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Give Granny a break.
Let's not give her a break.
The very same reasoning that makes Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions that day. But why would I do something horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Power lacks a clear motive too.
He does.
Indeed.
Why would he jeopardize his job when clearly the two were seen having a laugh?
That did it.
Unless
Now
it was
Windbag
purely an accident.
is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went into the studio?
What, the 10-year-old?
The boy. The one whose photo I erased. It's only a grade schooler, though. You said it was second or third grade, wasn't it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
So you're a killer.
No, she's just a trained professional. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. Why? How can you be so sure? Or is it nice to be kids, or is it to be nice to kids and mean to your elders' day? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. What is this proof, Mr. Wright? Where is this leap of logic that you...
The key card. It's the key card.
Scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studio have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness like to comment on this? The windbag, speechless. She's, this has got to be a first. Very well. Court will now suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness. Ms. Wendy, what was her name? Something old bag, Your Honor.
I like how we just...
Then the prosecution will look further into old bag before we continue. That is all. Court is adjourned. Wait a second. I'm not gonna just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking.
Oh,
great. Stop
the presses. The windbag wants to talk.
Ms. Oldbag, what is all this about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there is something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? But by whom? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk?
Has he turned over a new leaf?
Well, testify. Which we will do next time. Which,
yeah, I guess we'll have to do it next time. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.